This week, we're going to continue with the theme of robots. The supplies you will need are a cereal or snack cardboard box, scissors, glue, a white piece of paper, crayons, and if you have washable marker, and a water cup. If you do not have washable markers, then regular colored markers or colored pencils will work just fine. Instead of drawing a robot, we're going to be creating a collagraph, which is a type of printmaking. What is printmaking? Think of a printer. Printers were invented so that a person could make many copies of one thing really quickly. Paper goes into the machine, ink creates the word or picture, and it comes back out of the machine. An artist can become a printer when printmaking. They use a piece of art they created and add ink on top of it to make many copies of their artwork without having to keep redrawing it. There are two basic forms of printmaking. Some artists carve into a woodblock or metal plate, creating an engraving or etched image, while other artists create raised surfaces called a relief. Today, we are going to be making a collagraph. This is a form of relief printing. Relief is using materials like cardboard to build a raised surface. We are going to build a cardboard robot and then use it as a printer to make copies. Let's give it a try. You should start by pulling apart or deconstructing your cardboard box so it is nice and flat. Your box might not stay completely intact. You may end up with two sides of your box. Make sure to keep any extra pieces of your cardboard, even if they are small. You are going to be using scissors for this project, so make sure you're being super safe. Find one big rectangular piece of cardboard that you can use as your surface to glue everything else onto. Then you can start cutting up some cardboard into geometric shapes. You can cut some bigger squares and some smaller rectangles. The more shapes you make, the better. Maybe you want some circles. Notice when I cut my circle, I turn the cardboard and not my wrist that's holding the scissors. You can find something around your house, like a bottle cap, to trace. This will help you cut out a circle. I organized all my cardboard shape cutouts into large, medium, and small piles. I am ready to start putting together my robot. I want to think about composition or placement of things first. If I just start gluing, then I can't change my mind if I don't like how something looked. So, what I am going to do is lay things out so I can start to figure out what I want my robot collagraph to look like. I will place my head, neck, and body. Maybe I need to edit the size of something, like the neck. I want it to be a little bit smaller. I need a nice big shape for the body. Next, I'll start finding pieces for legs. Again, if any of the shapes are too big, you can cut them and make them smaller. Some rectangle pieces are a good shape for my feet. Make sure the whole body of your robot fits on your large cardboard surface and nothing is hanging off the edge. Last, I need some arms and hands or fingers. Once I have the basic layout, I'm going to start gluing. Flip each piece over one by one and put some glue on the back side. After gluing, we get to add details to our robot. Again, before gluing anything down, think about composition or placement. Where do I want all my details to go? You want to add a face, buttons or dials on the body, maybe some strips of cardboard on the legs. You can always cut out any extra pieces that you need. The more things you add, the better. Once you have the layout for your details, start gluing. After gluing all the details down, you must give your robot some time to dry. If you don't, when you start the next part of this process, all the cardboard pieces will slip off and your robot will be ruined. So put your robot aside, have some lunch, or work on some other assignments for a bit. Once your robot is fully dry, we are going to start adding color. We're going to do what is called a rubbing. When you are making a rubbing, you are going to need a piece of white paper and crayons. Make sure you take the paper wrapping off your crayons. Set the white paper on top of the robot Collagraph and use the side of the crayon to rub across the surface of the paper. Your other hand that is not holding the crayon should be holding the paper down so it does not move. The rubbing will reveal your robot. You want to make sure your robot comes out as dark as possible, so make sure to push hard with your crayon. It helps if you stand up. The cool thing about a rubbing is that you can do it over and over again. You just need a new piece of paper. You can change the crayon color you use, or you can use multiple colors. Another great thing about collagraphs is that after you do your first rubbing, you might see that you didn't add certain details. Like my robot doesn't have a nose, so maybe I'll add some more cardboard to my collagraph. Do not get rid of your cardboard collagraph because we are going to be using it for another art project next week. Okay, now let's talk about some things you can do to make your collagraph even better. You can continue using your crayons or colored pencils, maybe use different colors and color in a few of the details like the dials on the body or the eyes. If you have markers, you can outline your robot to really make it pop. If you are using washable markers, then you can use a paintbrush and some water to make paint. Or you can just use paint. Get creative. We are done. Take a picture of your robot, upload it to this assignment, and click Turn In.